Accession is an aspect of the technical services provided by museums. A piece is officially added to a museum's permanent collection through the accessioning process. Since museums hold accession collection in the public trust, they are governed by particular legal and moral requirements. As a result, museums do not always exhibit everything they buy. A collections management policy that outlines particular rules for acquisition into their collection helps museums decide what they wish to add to their collection. The exact goods or item kinds that many museums are searching for or not looking for in the foreseeable future are listed in their collection plans. The choice to acquire an object is frequently based on a mix of evaluation of the quality of the piece, significance to the goal of the museum, and relationship to other artifacts already in the collection. A museum's capacity to keep and conserve the objects as well as conservation evaluation of the objects are additional factors. Objects are obtained in different ways. The process includes asking some key questions such as whether the said objects met your museum's mission, is it safe to collect such piece, etc. The next step is establish and adhere to an internal procedure. The idea of public trust states that cultural and historical resources should be protected for the general welfare so they can be used for research, instruction, and recreation. Therefore, it is the responsibility of museums to take proper care and preserve this collection. Is it maintaining the spirit of public trust if your museum cannot adequately care for something, or if it does not match your mission and will never be displayed? The first step in providing competent and responsible collections care is to establish a clear protocol and identify who in your institution has the final say over whether to acquire an item. The documentation system of a museum is made up of a number of components: a session number, a session register, manual or electronic files, etc., that are connected to one another and the museum surrounding and are arranged to manage the collection's artifacts. For the administrative management of the collection, basic paperwork is required. It allows the museum to act swiftly and efficiently establish proof of ownership, find a particular object, and so on. It is possible, if desired, to add to this basic documentation in order to, among other things, make it interesting to the general public or researchers, display it in a permanent or temporary exhibition, etc. Museums have created practices that are, to a greater or lesser extent, shared as a result of their experience. The information containing documents should come together to form a system or documentation system.
Museum created finding aids in order for the staff and the researching public to easily find the object. Museum collections are normally catalogued in a collection catalogue, traditionally in a card index, but nowadays in a computerized database which contains things such as a session number in the trinomial system, date of acquisition taken from the temporary receipt, and location which where the object is stored or on display. Some of the ways to preserve and care for the things in the museum are such as brightness and UV levels are damaging to collections and should be controlled. Other than that, extreme changes in the temperature or humidity must always be avoided, and not to mention, always use stable materials when boxing artifacts. All of the boxes must be acid-free too. A museum also should have a routine schedule of basic cleaning that includes sweeping, vacuuming, and eliminating clutter, foodstuffs, and trash. Object safety also include providing appropriate security and planning for disasters and other threats, and making sure that museum staff are well trained in proper handling procedures.
A museum responsibility is to collect, preserve, exhibit, and interpret objects of historical significance. Unfortunately, all objects will begin to deteriorate for a variety of reasons, such as environmental condition, use, and natural decay. Therefore, a museum has to be fully responsible for maintaining its collection and to do everything possible to delay the natural law of deterioration. The deterioration can be avoided by practicing proper preservation measures with conservation that involves the treatment that is acceptable, which can help with the restoration of objects that can be as nearly as possible to their former condition. Most large museums have their own laboratories where preservation and restoration work is carried out, and some take on projects for other museums as well. In a museum, there are a lot of artifacts and historical events to protect. There are several rules that is need to do along with the conservation of the artifacts. Artifacts such as photographs, textiles, and printed or handwritten paper needs a careful care. Too much light can speed the deterioration, and they should be protected from excessive light and especially from sunlight, which contain the high amount of ultraviolet radiation UV, which is the most harmful form of light. A temperature that is too high or too low can damage things such as rubber, wood, and metal. Store or display these historic events or artifacts in spaces that have climate control systems like heating and air conditioning. Humidity is also one of the issues that can speed the deterioration of an artifact. Humidity that is too high encourages pests and mold to grow on paper, textile, and parchment. It also can promote rust on metal. Humidity that is too low can cause objects to become fragile. They are more suitable to be stored in an area that has a steady and constant humidity. Store or keep the materials away from heating and air conditioning vents. Chemical reaction and air pollutants can affect certain types of materials such as metal and marble. It is because they react to chemicals present in the air. This is a particular concern for outdoor objects such as marble statuary and iron architectural elements. Therefore, a museum needs to be very secure from any chemical reaction that can cause harms to the artifact. Some objects that are composed of incompatible materials such as wood and leather have a built-in deterioration risk. This object needs a regular inspection to get to know any changes in the condition. Museum storage units provide storage and space for the museum objects, archival items, and specimens. Museum storage are designed to provide maximum protection to the collections of the museum. These are the example of storage for museum objects. Archival storage boxes. Archival storage boxes functions to protect, retain, and form a unit out of a mass loose record. Archival box leaf. Archival box leaf are functions to protect documents from the damaging effects of pollutant, fingerprints, and dust. These types of storage boxes are suitable for storing large-size artifacts such as geographical maps. Archival storage rooms. Archival storage rooms functions to control and to store records and materials that can require permanent protection for storage and preservation.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Sofia Nabila binti Muhammad Razi. I am from IMC112 Class A. And now, we are going to move on to the information services in the museum. The first information services in the museum is exhibition. There is no actual layout for making a museum exhibition, but they can also be creative with the exhibition, and it can also vary from another topic to another topic. But there are some rules that they should follow. The first one is the design elements should be related to the topic. For example, if they are going to make an exhibition about arts, the exhibition should be colorful, should have a lot of pictures so they can attract more people. Second is, the space must be user-friendly for all the visitors, for children, elderly, or a large group of people. The third rule is, the staff must be alert with the artifact security and the visitor safety. Rule number 4, the labels on the artifact should be brief and easy for people to read. Rule number 5, the design should enhance the artifact without disturbing the visitors or overwhelming the artifact. The next part is research. It is important for museum to extract as much information as possible from the artifact in order to engage the information to the public. Many museums publish scholarly journals, series of papers, and even books to promote the finding of study on their collection. The last part is educational program. Museum offers an educational program through the organization of short courses. So, what is short museum courses? It is a museology or museum studies degrees that teach students about museum, their activities, history, and role in human society. With discussion, site visit, and group work, the participant will boost sharing of ideas and practice. Museums are essential educational spaces with a lot of potential learning for everyone. The museum collection allows people to witness the growth of human history and cultural heritage with their own eyes. With the museum educational program, people will appreciate the human history more. That's all from this topic. Thank you for watching.